Hi, good morning. Welcome to a story circle from Team 3. Today, our main goals to achieve is to reflect, analyze, and understand the global communication. How? By using the Manual for Developing Intercultural Competences from the UNESCO. During this story cycle, we will share our thoughts and points of view by respecting others and their beliefs. Also, we aim to develop our capacity to analyze and undertake intercultural competences. We also want to demonstrate an understanding of how diversity enriches society and the appreciation of different visions and cultures. In order to make this story circle, there are some important points we will mention. This story cycle will be conducted in 3 rounds, which will later be explained. We are here to listen for understanding, which means that we will remain open to the speeches and thoughts of our partners. We will guide our group for our reflection and discussion to move forwards to enhance that competencies, which are listening for understanding, increase cultural self-awareness, and develop empathy in relationships. It is important to make clear that this is a safe space, which means that all participants are secure in a physical, mental, and emotional way. How this will be achieved? Well, equally, respect and confidentiality are main pillars for this session. We must remember that this is an experience, which means that every thought or thing said will be shared from our position and our individual context. The first round is an introduction of the members. In a few words, they will describe their background. In the second round, we will develop these intercultural competencies by answering some important questions that are already established. And in the third round, we will have discussion questions before our conclusion that is suggested on the memo. Also, I would like to mention that in case any of the members feel uncomfortable, they're free to say it and share it. Remember, each one of us is here because we are willing to hear and learn from others. So we are about to start our first round, which is get acquainted. Samuel, can you please start introducing yourself?
Yes. Well, my name is Samuel Jimenez. I'm 20 years old, and the 3 words that define me. The first one is relationships. I think it's really important to have a healthy and a good relationship with your family and friends, and always seek for new relationships that will reach your personality or your character. And the second one, I think challenges and goals are really important, and it's a really good phrase that defines me because I'm always trying to set new challenges or goals and never stay in my comfort zone. And finally, self care. I think it's really important to help others, but it's way better to be good with your own self and have always that mental peace and to work in yourself is really important to become a better person in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now it's my turn. I am Fernando Esparza. I am 20 years old, and the 3 words that will describe me is family. I think that I am a person that includes or take into account family in daily life decisions, and they are like my secure place. I will also like to say that religion, in this case, I am a Catholic, so my decisions, my values, and beliefs are based on this religion, which influence my daily life. And also, I would say honesty or responsibility, both, because I think that with these two ways a person can move forward and achieve their goals.
Well, I'm next. I'm Frida, and the three phrases or words that describe me are respect. Respect, I think, is highly important to have in one's lifestyle because it is really important to respect others and their opinions, their way of living. Also, honesty because it's really important to to always be true to yourself, but also be honest about the way that you rule your life or that you go around. And also curiosity because I'm always seeking to know new people, new cultures, new lifestyle, new food, and I'm always like looking to try and get to know new things.
Hello everyone, my name is Cindy Chable. Although I grew up in a traditional environment, I consider that my words are flexibility, respect, and empathy. I am characterized by being open-minded to new experiences. I try to learn new things, even if they sometimes involve challenges.
Hi, I'm Samantha Ibarra, and I think one of the words that describes me first is equity, because it's what I fight the most, and like I believe the most in, so everyone can have the same opportunities no matter from where they come or what they look like. Uh, my second word is forgiveness, because growing up in a very religious family, that I don't keep practicing all that religious. The only thing I think I keep it from is giving second chances no matter what, and independence. That is one of the most important things my parents teach me, to me and my sisters, to never depend on someone, and if anything happens.
Okay, thank you everyone for your introduction. It is time to pass to our second round, which is intercultural competences. I will start with the first question, which is, what is one of the most positive interactions you have had with a person who is different from you? And what made this such a positive experience? Samuel?
Well, I was in a study abroad in the United States, and I had a problem with my, say, with the apartment that I was living, and I stayed like in the street that day, and I had a friend. I just know him like for one day. It was an Afro-American friend from, he was in Colorado, and we just know from that one day in school, and he didn't know me anything, and he helped me, and he offered me to stay in his apartment, and he basically saved me that night because I would go to a hotel and he didn't get a lot of money, so I would like spend all my week money and I wouldn't have money to eat in the rest of the week. So I learned that even though he didn't even know me well, or he didn't owe me anything, he offered me his hand and he helped me, and that's important to help others even though they don't know you, they don't know you anything, or they don't know you really well.
Thank you. In this case, my interaction was last semester with a foreign student, which is from Germany. Um, we were in a dance class, and even though we didn't spoke the same language, we had fun and we just try like to match each other steps. And I have a very fun time. It was something different because even though our height wasn't similar, he is much taller than me. We have fun and enjoy that class. Frida, do you want to share a story?
Sure. Like 5 years ago, I went abroad to Chicago for a year, and I went to school there. So I met this friend Neon, and she's from Vietnam. And even though I didn't speak much English back then, and obviously she didn't speak Spanish, and she knew English but just a little bit. We got to know each other and we became friends, like really close friends. And up to date, we were still in contact. I have family in Chicago, so I go back like really frequently, and that friendship has lasted because every time I go back, I we still see each other, and we share a lot because we're both from different cultures and countries, so we're able to share and get to know different lifestyles.
Thank
Well,
you, Cindy. Oh,
a memorable experience comes to me related to when I had a classmate during high school. He belonged to the Mormon community. On that occasion, we had to work together for a school project. Actually, the different points of view that we each had allowed us to deliver a very creative work. I also believe that having an open dialogue with the respect made it easier for us to live together in the same way. Personally, by adopting a perspective with things of cultural relativism, that is abandoning cultural superiority and understanding that being different is not something negative.
thank you, Sam.
I think one of the experience was when I was in high school for my scholarship service. I was like teaching a little girl that had Down syndrome to read, write, and help her do her homework. And it was like I really like that experience because it helped me to understand those different abilities that someone can have and to practice a lot of patience.
Okay, thank you all for sharing your responses. Now, our second question is, describe a time when you realize you believe in a stereotype about a group, or if you are or not a part of this group, and how was not true, or if was not true. Someone?
Well, when I went to a homestay in Canada, I stayed with a French old lady, and many people told me that all people, and mostly French or European, are really like closed and they are really rude to you. They don't follow strictly their rules, or they don't talk in their native language, that was French. So the week I arrived, I was like very shy and I was not comfortable talking to her. But after a week, I realized she was a really nice person and she helped me a lot to stay there. I stayed 2 weeks with her and it was really fun because she was really open and she was really nice with me. So that stereotype was not true. And I learned that I don't need to judge people by stereotypes that I heard here.
Thank you. Well, my situation story was when I was in high school. I have some partners that were Jehovah's Witnesses that follow this religion. So I always have in my mind that these people only talk about their religion and they like just want you to change from religion to theirs. But never my partner like told me about it. He was very respectful, and we just were like friends from school, and that's it. So I there is where I get conscious about that this stereotype wasn't true. Frida?
Going back to my friendship with Neon, I always thought, or people said, that Asian people are like reserved and formal and they are like pretty close too. But when I met her, I realized that this wasn't true because, like, for example, last summer I went to Chicago and she was super nice, but not only her, also her family, like they invited me to, like, her nephew's party, and I realized that they are actually like pretty fun and really similar to Mexican culture. Like, they are all about family and taking care of each other and being like really welcoming, and I really felt really comfortable, and I realized that not all Asian people are so reserved and formal, and that they actually can be really welcoming.
Thank you, Frida. Cindy?
A personal experience occurred when I changed my city of residence. Throughout my life, I have lived in the central areas of Mexico. When I started college, I moved to the north of the country. One of the most frequent stereotypes is that the inhabitants behave with a sense of superiority given the social economic conditions that prevail in the region. Similarly, the stereotype dictates that they treat new people badly, and that is not true.
Thank you, Sam.
I think one of the most experience that stereotypes I believe that impacted me the most was when I was like in primary school, like very little. I actually believed that the feminist women were crazy. I really said that and believed in that but after I read a lot and talked to other women that are part of the group, I realized I was in a horrible state of mind and start to rethinking more about my past decisions and forms of thinking.
Okay, thank you. Our last question from this round is, what is a metaphor from your own experience that illustrates how a cultural clash can be overcome? Someone?
Well, the metaphor that I think that describes most of this situation, it's never judge a book by its cover because you will never know what's really inside, and this will help to overcome that cultural clash because people will be more open to new experiences and to know new people and understanding their cultures.
Thank you. Yes, my metaphor is similar to that one. Like, don't hurry up. Wait until you meet the person. Don't judge them by what society says, and get yourself a chance to have an opportunity to meet people. Frida?
Yeah, I would say that it's all about perspective and the way that you look at things because keeping an open mind will allow to learn new things, new opinions, new lifestyles. So it's basically all about the way that you look at things.
Well, from my own experience, I believe that the best metaphor is not judge a movie by its cover, taking into consideration our personal biases at the moment of living experiences different from our way of living or thinking.
Sam?
I don't know exactly a metaphor, but it's more like to check your privileges and consider that everyone can have a different thing, living and experiencing more things than you, because I actually believe that everyone, like every woman will live this the same as me, like in my same privileges. They didn't have a hard time and everything. So that made me realize that not everyone have everything as I have it, and to make me a lot grateful for everything.
Thank you, Sam. Well, with this, we end up round two. Okay. So now we'll continue to our third round. We will continue with our third round, which is a brief discussion question. This round will be made by three important questions, which are: what is memorable to you in what you heard? What surprised you? And what challenged you in the stories you heard? Samuel?
Well, Well, first of all, what's memorable for me, it's that, for example, in Sam's story about feminism or in Cindy about the north, how people are in the north of the country, that's memorable of how we are like that, like naturally, or like us, like teens or young people, we have a natural way of stereotyping things and being a little bit close to new things. Then what surprised me is relating to what I said before, it's how we are close to new experiences or to new people but at the same time, we want to know them. So it's like kind of a paradox. But I think we need to be a little more open and not judge people by things we heard. And finally, what challenge is in the stories that I heard is basically the same. I'm going to challenge myself to be a little bit more open and to not let me go with all the things I heard. And I will try to just go with things and be more open and try to know more people and be more intercultural to enrich my personality.
Thank you, Samuel. In my case, the also some story was about this child with Down syndrome. What is memorable for me is that we can learn things from people. In this case, Sam was teaching her something, I think. So I at the end she learned something from that child. So this is what um we don't expect from to learn from others, and but life surprises. And in this case, it surprised me that you can develop skills, but also you can develop values from other people by just interacting with them in a very simple activity. And what challenged me is about this Asian friend, Asian partner. I have some Asian friends, but most of the time I'm afraid or anxious when talking to them because I don't want to disrespect them. So I can say I have this stereotype that they are very like silent or formal, and there's not that case. Not everywhere or not always people from Asia are that introverts. So what challenged me here is to get to know more that those friends I have by being myself and not having this fear to know them by who they are and not from just like being Asian. Frida?
What stood out for me the most or was memorable was Samuel experience in New York. It really surprised me how there's still good people, because he could have been just like left out there with nothing to do, as he said. And this guy actually, like offered him his help. And it really surprised me that there's still good people that are willing to help you if you need it, even though they may not know you well. So that was really impactful. And I think what challenged me is to be able to actually be intercultural, to keep an open mind. I think this is something that we have to work on every day, and like develop these abilities and this lifestyle to get to know more and to be open.
Thank you, Frida. Cindy?
Well, from my point of view, all the stories had good results, like Frida's story, even though at the beginning it represented stepping out of the comfort zone. The main challenge is to adapt without the judging, and I consider it's normal to be afraid of the unknown at first, and that's it.
Sam?
I think for me, I'm pretty sure it was your story, Fer, that about the other religious boy, that your partner, that because I also had that mentality from that people, that they tend to only talk about their religion, and that they want you to convert no matter what. Mainly because I haven't met one. And it really surprised me that you told me that he wasn't like that. And well, that made me challenge me to be more open mind about everyone. No, and like try to keep stop thinking that everyone is like they tell me, to kill those stereotypes. and yeah, keep an open mind to be more acceptance and intercultural.
Okay, thank you, Sam. With this, we end up our third round and our story circle. I want to thank you all for your time, for being open to listen from others, to learn from others, to understand their contexts, and to develop these skills. Today, we put in practice intercultural competencies, and we have increased our self-awareness about empathy and relationships in an intercultural context. I'm very happy because we did it, and I hope this experience will help you to, in your future, to develop in your personal and why not in your professional life. Thank you all.